Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Megan, and now that I am done dusting shelves, I seriously need to repot some plants and rearrange them because, well, I brought in two before the first freeze, and I don't really have places to put them. The ones that have been in here all year, I am going to repot, and then the ones that are floating around trying to find homes, hopefully I can find homes for. And those are just geraniums. They will go back out in the spring. I just don't have anywhere that I can dormant winter them over outside. The wonders of living in a trailer, the underside of my house, it's a crawl. I mean, I guess technically it is a crawl space, but it's not protected from cold, like a basement would be. Anyway, we are snuggling in these plants that have not gotten really anything to eat since 6 years ago. Now, once I get done pulling out what was in here already, the cuttings were actually cut off of these same plants. They had been wrapping all the way around the bathroom, and I cut them a couple months back and just stuck them in water. So that is where they came from. And as I am repotting them, I thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about this nesting feeling I am getting this fall. Now, I've noticed the last couple of years since I fell into the YouTube sort of cleaning communities, I've noticed that I want to clean a little bit more in the fall. Something about, going into winter without all the dust and dirt, and I want to be ready to snuggle in, not man, this place is a mess. Maybe that's weird. But I have noticed that I'm more ready to deep clean in the fall than I am in the spring. I definitely know that. Now, mind you, I am not the great one at cleaning. I am definitely better at decluttering than I am cleaning, but I'm learning. I know we have a few projects we want to work on in the kitchen this fall and winter. My son wants to learn how to make limpa, which is a Swedish rye bread that he grew up with. My mom used to make it. She would actually make enough loaves and pass them out at the Christmas gathering for her side of the family. She would also make peanut brittle, and that one's definitely not on the table yet. I have too many sugar issues. Not to say that once I get the sugar issues in check, it won't be a thing again. But my son likes to eat bread and likes to bake bread. So he would like to learn how to make limpa this year. I will have to go pick up some flour for that project because I don't keep rye flour on hand, or whole wheat flour for that matter. I would also like to work on some gluten-free breads and play around with that. I picked up some masa harina, which is a corn flour that I would like to try using in something other than tortillas and just see if that works. And then I keep seeing potato breads and rice breads and things. So I think that might be a thing. I am trying to get back to gluten-free and having a bread option beyond corn tortillas. Don't get me wrong. I've figured out a bit better how to use corn tortillas, and they are actually working pretty well. But I would like to have an actual bread option. And do you really need an excuse to bake? Really? Especially in the wintertime. I would have to have a really good excuse in the summertime because we don't have AC. But it's fall and winter, so, that's nice and cozy. I don't know. I'm pulling out Afghans. I just got done with 2 months of cleaning and dusting shelves. So, everything's nicely displayed for the most part. And next week I'm going to work on ceiling fans. Those have been off so I can see all the dirt on the edges. And those have been off just because, try and wait as long as possible to turn heat on just for financing. But I'm up to 8 ceiling fans since I'm using small ones now. So that will be my project for next week. And I want to play around with that a little bit and see if I can flip the blades over. Like, you know how you can, on some ceiling fans, you can reverse the blades between summer and winter? And it affects the way the air moves in the room and how it pulls the heat off the ceiling. So one can feel rather cool, and then the other can actually make it feel warmer. And I'm hoping that I can reverse the blades and it will feel warmer. And then in the spring, I will go back through and do the opposite. Don't know if that'll work on these fans, but we're going to try it and see. But in the meantime, I am working on the plants and getting them all snuggled in. I'm going to have to do that again because I am getting the little ones some growing things for Christmas, mainly so they will quit trying to eat these. If you know anything about cats and why they will puke on a regular basis, we don't really deal with hairballs a whole lot, but we have one that is sensitive to like any sort of chicken in their food. Like they can eat human chicken as a one-off here and there, but like chicken byproducts and that's it. But it's not in the food anymore, so I'm not sure what the deal is and why he's having problems now. And since it's getting to be wintertime, he's going to be outside less. Not that he's really outside a lot during the summer, but I do kind of miss them being able to go out whenever they wanted to. We're just not supposed to do that. And they are running around the house. So if you hear elephants in the background, that would be why. I don't know. I've got Halloween decorations taken down and ready to go out. I've got donation stuff to take out to a car and get out of the house. If I hadn't mentioned it, I have pulled out some extra Afghans and things to snuggle in with. I'm stocking our hot chocolate. It is back in season at Aldi's. Speaking of, if you want a way to kind of reduce your sugar intake a little bit, no, don't get me wrong, the hot chocolate we like still has sugar in it. I've tried pretty much all of the healthy ones and they taste horrible. But what I do, I'll drink most of a glass of milk, and then in the little bit that I leave, I mix in the hot cocoa pouch so that it's smooth and everything. And then on top of that, I'll add in a tablespoon or so, I don't actually measure, of collagen peptides, and then get that mixed in really well. And then once the the electric kettle is boiling, I pour that in over it and mix it up, and it's sort of like after the marshmallows have melted if you add marshmallows. But of course the collagen peptides don't have the sugar that come in the marshmallows. In case you're unaware, marshmallows are basically sugar and gelatin, probably more gelatin than sugar. But so anyway, I don't miss the marshmallows this way, and it tastes really good, and it's nice and warm and cozy, and I get a protein boost, which from everything I've been reading, it seems like you need with Picos. The last place I was looking at, like for my weight at the time, I needed like 186 grams of protein in a day. If I'm like healing and stuff, my doctor's like, oh no, not unless you're a bodybuilder. But then absolutely everything I see on Picos says we need more protein. And based on what anything Picos related says, I know I don't get that much in a meal unless I'm eating like a steak or something. And since I don't know how to cook those, it's not every day. So anyway, nice little protein boost without the added sugar. And I've stocked my kids up on coffee. What else do you guys do to nest? I'm looking towards getting back into sewing a bit. That had kind of gone on the back burner with the gardening stuff. Gonna need to do the windows. Like we put plastic on the windows for the winter time. My youngest asked if I could go ahead and do that in her room. We're concerned that the lemon tree is getting a bit too cold at night. But man, it loved its life outside this summer. It more than doubled in size. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with that in another year or so when it won't fit through a doorway. Because I don't know that I can have a greenhouse here. I don't know. Anyway, what do you guys do to nest? Give me some ideas, preferably not decor related. I can't really do candles because of health issues, and I like decor to be functional, and I'm still on the decluttering end of things. But if you have ideas on ways I can kind of nest or like things you definitely want to make sure you clean in your fall deep cleaning, I think that's the way I want to go with this rather than adding stuff too much. Just because normally when I get done with a challenge, I need time to kind of settle in and get used to the new stuff level, I guess you could say. Because if I get rid of too much too quick, then I start, like, my anxiety levels go up. And I don't want to trigger that because then I tend to bring more stuff in. I don't know, I call it cocooning. I've noticed over the years that I will sort of fill in space around me to form a cocoon if my anxiety levels and mental health are not so great. And I don't want to trigger that by any means. I am noticing they are a little bit higher just because I am buying more stuff for Christmas. And that's one of those things, like, I don't want to get rid of Christmas just because I'm trying to declutter, but that sort of period beforehand where I'm trying to get the things I'm going to give away, they're still in the house. So I need to take that into account too. And I don't know, maybe that's playing into why I don't necessarily feel like I've gone far enough on the decluttering with Shelftember and Shelftober, because I don't really have a place I'm putting that stuff right now. I need to, because the stuff so far that I've bought has been stuff that will remain in our household. It's just kind of going where I would look for it first until we give it to the people in the household. It's one of those things where the human people will get their birthday and Christmas stuff when they're supposed to, but I've got to hide that a little bit more, whereas pet toys and accessories can just go in the pet stuff and I can tell the kids, hey, I've already got their Christmas presents and they're tucked away. And that's one of those, I don't want to go overboard with bringing stuff in, and I don't want to go too far in decluttering too quickly, but I'm definitely still feeling like I need to get rid of more, and I'm not really sure where to start because at this point I've touched, I think, most of the surfaces in the house lately. So if you've been around a while, you know I'll probably go back and start back at my closet again. But I am actually going to do my fans next week, and when I took the after picture, I'm noticing in editing this that I will also go back over the plant stand with some polish. I use half vinegar, half oil when I need to do like wood furniture. The vinegar cleans off any dirt, and then the oil moisturizes and absorbs into the wood. And remember, a little bit at a time really adds up over a lifetime.